this is Sandra here, and I decided today just to do a really nice get ready with me where it's just a simple, easy work from home kind of look, since it's really actual for most of us at the moment. And you might not want to do your regular routine, you just want something that's quick and easy and done in 10 minutes, perfect for those Zoom meetings that so many of us have at the moment, or if you just want to chat with your friends and you know, you want to look a bit more put together than this. So I will zoom you in, no pun intended, and then we can get started. Alright, well, come really up and close to my face. So because I done my skincare in the morning and at the moment it's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I just thought I will use this lovely golden hour light that we still have going on. I'm just gonna spritz my face really quickly with the Mario Badescu rose water, I think it is. No, it's not the rose one, it's the aloe, cucumber and green tea one. I think I have the rose one as well, but I decided to go with this at the moment. So I'm gonna just spritz my face quickly with this to rehydrate, and then we can go in with the makeup. Oh, I love the scent of this, it's so refreshing. So I'm gonna wait for this to sink in. Okay, so normally I would start with my eyes, but I'm not really gonna do any eyeshadow today since, you know, for most people it would not be a priority. If I want to play with my makeup, I will, but if I just want to quickly get ready to look more presentable, this is not something I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do eyeshadow, so I'm gonna go straight in with the primer, and my skin needs a bit more love lately. It feels a bit dry most of the time, so I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Base State Primer, since it's nice and hydrating, and I only have a mini size of it, but actually I wouldn't mind a full size of this, it's quite nice. And I'm just gonna take my finger and massage it in everywhere. For foundation, I want something really light, nothing too much, and I have two options in front of me, either the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation, which I'm sure you heard me talk about a lot of times before, or the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, which is more like a tinted moisturizer kind of solution. And if my skin would behave, I would probably go with this. You can just put it on with your fingers and be done. But I had a breakout, which is going out now, but it still left a red mark. And then I have a lovely teeny tiny pimple there as well. So I'm gonna go with the Charlotte Tilbury, as this gives a little bit more coverage, and you have to make sure to shake this one up before. I put a little bit on the back of my hand. Well, a little bit. For some it might be a lot, but it's not that much. And I'm gonna take a brush. I usually prefer a I usually prefer a flat kabuki brush for my foundation, and that's what I'm gonna use today as well. Since the foundation didn't cover everything, I'm gonna go in with a concealer, and you can use a light coverage concealer if you want. I'm gonna go with the Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm just gonna use it sparingly. One dot here, one dot there, and then 2 dots on my pimples as well, which in hindsight I should have probably applied with my finger, but never mind. And I'm gonna just pat them into my skin over the spots. I'm gonna use my brush, and the concealer is more or less the same shade as the foundation, so I don't have to worry about it brightening and highlighting my pimples. And you can see it's a lot better now, you can barely see it. And then for the concealers, I'm just gonna take my fingers and pat it in. I find that that's the quickest way, and it gives a really nice finish, and also in the morning it can help with fatigue, so you know, why wouldn't you? Make sure that you go into that inner corner, because that's where most of us have the most darkness. to set all of this in place, I'm gonna just use a really light layer of powder, and to keep it nice and dewy and fresh looking, I'm gonna use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Dim Light, and this is just a really cute travel version. I'm gonna take this NARS brush, but you can take any brush. I just can't take a big fluffy brush as it doesn't fit into the compact. And I find that this powder usually gives me a tiniest bit of color. It's a little bit darker than my skin, which is fine. Just need to make sure to blend it. And under my eyes I just use the tiniest bit that's left on the brush rather than applying more, so I don't darken that bit. Don't think it really comes through in the camera, but in real life I can see it gave me a little bit of color, which is perfect because most of the time I'm really pale. And furthermore, to give me the tiniest bit of color, I'm gonna go in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Again, I'm just gonna use the same brush, as I want this bronzer to be really diffused, and it's really just there to give me a little bit more color. And I like to bring it down my neck as well, just again because if I tan up my face and not my neck, it's not a natural finish. I like to take a little bit under my lip and the tiniest amount of bronzer on my nose. And in addition to that, I'm gonna take a nice big fluffy brush. This is the Sigma Tapered Blending E40, and swirl that around in the bronzer and just lightly sweep it on my lid and in the crease, just to tie it in with the rest of our skin. And you can see it doesn't do too much, but just a little bit. It just makes you look a bit more put together, a bit more even, like so. Now, depending on what you like to focus on, you can always put in a bit of eyeliner, eyeshadow, a bright lipstick. For me personally, I feel like I need to fix my brows because they are so uneven, it's crazy. So I'm gonna start with my Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift. Yes, Brow Lift in the shade Naomi. And I'm gonna brush them up first. Now sometimes I start with an eyebrow gel, other times I start with a pencil. I don't know. Today I just felt like starting with a pencil, but I still make sure to brush it up first so I see where they will sit roughly once I have my eyebrow gel on, so I can just fill them in places where it needs it, especially on days like today when the rest of my makeup is gonna be so natural. So I'm just gonna fill them in where they need it. And my right brow is not that bad, it's mostly the left one, that one that needs a lot of help. This one is fairly nice, this one is a bit more flat looking. And I do like to go back and forth just to see where it might need evening out. And I did notice that even though it looks quite symmetrical in the mirror, sometimes it doesn't translate the same way through the camera. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know, it just translates differently for some reason, which is really annoying when I think I have a good brow day and then I look at the footage and it just, yeah, doesn't look the same. I'm working on that, guys, trust me. Alright, 55 hours later, I'm just gonna stop there, otherwise I'm gonna drive myself nuts and my brows will end up looking way too much. So I will stop there and I'm gonna go in with an eyebrow gel which will just keep them in place, and I'm gonna use the Essence Make Me Brow in the shade Brownie Brows, which I love that name. And I'm just gonna take some of the product off on the side of it so it doesn't take too much, and I start in the middle, because I learned that sometimes I start in the front and I have way too much product still on the wand and there's no way I can work it out, so this is the best way and the quickest way for me to make sure I don't look fully crazy. I mean, sometimes I forget my own advice, but you know, I'm trying to keep myself to it. Just old habits die hard, basically. Okay, that's done. And now I'm gonna move on to a little bit of blush. Do I do blush? No, you know what? No blush. Let's keep it easy. I'm gonna go back in for a bit more bronze. Like so. Then we come to mascara. I have a mini of the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. I'm sorry for using so much Charlotte Tilbury. To be fair, how many products? I have 3 products from Charlotte Tilbury, but I'm trying to keep it mixed in with affordable products as well. But obviously we're not using many products to start with, so you know, trying is the key word here. So apply a coating or 2 of this. If you want, you can add a separate highlighter as well. Because of the foundation and the powder we used, there's a nice amount of natural glow to my skin. I don't feel like I want to add any highlighter today. And then the last step I'm gonna do is use this lip balm. Now, if you want to add more of a pop, you can use a nice bright lipstick. But for now, I'm gonna just use this lip balm, and it's the Fruit Color Balm in the shade Rare Coral. I picked it up from Holland & Barrett, which is like a health kind of shop. So it's all, I think, raw ingredients. It's made in Britain and it's cruelty-free and vegan. So it smells wonderful too, like watermelon. And you can see just it gives a little bit of color to my lips. And that's it. That's all I do when I feel like I don't want to make more effort than I have to. Let me take the Pud's ears off, although it was not really in the frame, but you know. There we go. My hair is usually a bit messy just because, I don't know, that's how I like it. And that's what I normally do if I just want to really spend 10 minutes on it, not more than that. And you know, I look a bit more put together than I did in the beginning. And especially through a camera, it's more than enough half of the time. But I sit somewhere with my laptop, I'm washed out anyway. But you know, I feel a lot cuter than I did in the beginning. It just gives me a bit more life, and it still gives me this whole feel of like daily routine and things being normal. If you want, you can add a bit of eyeliner too. Sometimes I use something like this, which is the Milani Brown Foil Fierce Foil Eyeliner, or just brown eyeshadow. I take an angled brush and smudge a little bit in the outer corners of my eye so they look a bit more round and a bit more open. But today I thought I will keep it simple for you just because that's what I promised. But sometimes I add that, or you know, sometimes I add a highlighter, or I do a bit more eyeshadow. Some days I do more than this, but if I'm in a pinch, or if I just don't feel like doing a full makeup but I want a little pick-me-up, this is sort of what I'm going for. And see, there's still a nice glow to my cheeks, and that's all I want, to look healthy and just, I don't know, like I'm put together. I'm in a bit of a weird mood today. I don't know what's happening. I feel like I need to get out a bit more, but we're not allowed to do that. So without further blabbering on, to keep this nice and sweet and short, I'm gonna say goodbye now. Also, in other news before I go, I changed up my editing a little bit in the past few videos. So if you've watched my videos before, please let me know if you like the changes or what you think could elevate my videos even more. since I have a little bit more time on my hands than usual, I'm trying to figure out ways to up my YouTube game, and that's it. Yeah, as I said, please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please consider subscribing. It would mean so much to me. But for now, I'm gonna go. I hope to see you in my next video, and that's it for today. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.